The entertainment landscape is currently witnessing a phenomenon that industry veterans are struggling to categorize. The version of Courtney that captured the hearts of millions on national television is officially a relic of the past, fully replaced by a fiercely independent rock powerhouse dominating the 2026 alternative music scene. But as the 21-year-old artist aggressively strips away her old mainstream image to reveal a dark, industrial edge, the global public has become increasingly obsessed with the one aspect of her life she absolutely refuses to share: her romantic relationships. In an era where practically every young celebrity enthusiastically broadcasts their private love life on social media to secure lucrative brand deals and algorithmic engagement, Courtney has successfully turned her personal life into an impenetrable, heavily guarded fortress. Desperate paparazzi have scrambled for years to catch her on secret dates in London or Los Angeles, and dedicated internet sleuths have spent countless hours dissecting the backgrounds of her photos, yet she remains a total enigma. She is arguably one of the most famous young vocalists in the world right now, consistently selling out gritty underground venues across Europe and America with her highly controversial new sound. Yet absolutely no one can confirm who she is going home to after the final encore. This bizarre, striking contrast between her incredibly loud, chaotic stage presence and her deafening silence regarding her intimate love life has only poured premium gasoline on the fire of public curiosity. Millions of dedicated followers desperately want to know if the profound heartbreak heard in her unpolished vocals is the direct result of a secret, devastating breakup, or if she is quietly building a peaceful life entirely removed from the relentless, toxic Hollywood spotlight. But the actual reason she keeps her romance tightly locked in a vault is tied directly to a dark reality of the music industry that she aggressively refuses to participate in. The modern entertainment industry has a long, highly documented history of forcing young, rising stars into highly publicized, manufactured romantic relationships to artificially boost album sales and dominate tabloid headlines. For years, massive record labels and aggressive public relations teams have utilized these fake promotional couples to generate massive media buzz, essentially treating a celebrity's private love life as just another highly lucrative marketing asset. According to close industry insiders speaking under the condition of anonymity, Courtney was allegedly pressured early in her transition to adulthood to align herself romantically with other trending young musicians or popular internet influencers. The corporate strategy was abundantly clear. Pairing her with a famous, highly visible partner would instantly catapult her back into the mainstream pop culture conversation and guarantee millions of easy algorithmic streams. However, keeping strictly true to her fiercely rebellious nature, Courtney reportedly rejected this manipulative game entirely, viewing the commodification of her personal life as a massive insult to her artistic integrity. She flat out refused to participate in the shallow clout-chasing culture that currently defines the Los Angeles celebrity ecosystem, choosing instead to sever ties with any management team that tried to dictate or control who she was seen with in public. This blatant rejection of the Hollywood dating machine absolutely infuriated powerful corporate executives, but simultaneously cemented her status as a genuine, uncompromising artist in the eyes of her intensely loyal. She effectively established a massive boundary between her public art and her private heart that no label could ever financially profit off her personal affections. But her fierce refusal to play the manufactured Hollywood dating game only caused the wild internet to spiral completely out of control during her latest international tour. Without any official confirmation or carefully staged paparazzi photographs to rely on, the internet has naturally resorted to wild, unverified speculation regarding her relationship status throughout the entirety of 2026. During the highly intense recording sessions and subsequent touring schedule for her radical new rock project, began to heavily circulate across social media platforms that Courtney was quietly dating a fellow underground musician, or perhaps one of the edgy producers involved in crafting her aggressive new sound. Fans meticulously analyzed behind-the-scenes studio footage, desperately searching for lingering glances, subtle physical touches, or any hidden interpersonal chemistry between the young singer and her fiercely loyal bandmates. Late-night studio sessions and cryptic, ambiguous social media posts, unidentified silhouettes, only added massive amounts of highly combustible fuel to the speculative fire, leading to entire forum threads dedicated strictly to the true identity of her secret partner. Some entertainment journalists theorized that she was intentionally dating someone significantly older and more established in the alternative rock scene to help guide her transition away from her teenage pop soul roots, while others vehemently argued she was involved with a completely normal, non-famous individual from her quiet in the United Kingdom. Despite the relentless media scrutiny and the constant barrage of invasive, highly personal questions during her rare public interviews, Courtney and her inner circle have maintained an incredibly strict, military-level code of silence regarding these specific. She has managed to pull off an absolute masterclass in media misdirection, allowing the general public to endlessly guess while she quietly lives her life entirely on her own carefully guarded terms. Yet, while she successfully blocked the paparazzi from her private life, she accidentally left a trail of undeniable clues buried deep within her own songwriting. Since she adamantly refuses to speak directly about her intimate relationships to the press, her rapidly growing has naturally turned to the absolute only place where she is genuinely vulnerable: the raw, unfiltered lyrics of her 2026 music. Her latest industrial rock tracks are heavily layered with incredibly dark, emotionally complex themes of deep betrayal, intense romantic isolation, and the terrifying vulnerability of trusting another human being. Dedicated listeners have spent countless hours dissecting every single verse, aggressively searching for any hidden names, specific locations, or metaphorical clues that might finally expose the absolute truth about her highly classified love life. Songs that feature aggressive, snarling vocals about being used for fleeting fame or emotionally manipulated by a toxic partner have led many critics to firmly believe that Courtney recently endured a massive, highly traumatic breakup, completely hidden from the scrutinizing public eye. Passionate fans argue that an artist simply cannot write and perform music with that level of profound, gut-wrenching agony unless they have personally experienced the soul-crushing weight of a shattered relationship strictly behind closed doors. Conversely, some of her slower, more haunting acoustic tracks heavily hint at a quiet, fiercely protective love, suggesting she might currently be in a deeply committed, highly supportive relationship that she is desperately trying to shield from the destructive, chaotic nature of her own massive celebrity status. By pouring her actual romantic experiences entirely into her heavily distorted music, she has successfully created a fascinating, unsolvable psychological puzzle that keeps her audience endlessly engaged and passionately emotionally invested. But deciphering the tragic themes hidden in her gritty new lyrics led her fans to a much darker realization about the severe psychological toll of her early childhood fame. To truly understand the psychological mechanics of why Courtney guards her romantic life with such unprecedented, fierce intensity, you have to critically examine the deeply unnatural environment in which she was forced to grow up. Becoming a massive, global viral sensation at the incredibly tender age of 13 fundamentally alters a person's psychological development, especially when it comes to forming genuine, trusting relationships in early adulthood. From the very moment she stepped off the reality television stage and into the global spotlight, she was immediately surrounded by opportunistic adults, aggressive talent agents, and fake friends who were solely interested in capitalizing on her fame and immense financial potential. Psychologists and veteran industry experts frequently note that former child stars often develop severe, long-lasting trust issues, constantly wondering if potential romantic partners genuinely love them for who they are, or if they are simply chasing the lucrative clout and massive social media following attached to their famous name. For Courtney, who has already fought a brutal, highly publicized war to reclaim her artistic identity from major record labels, the terrifying prospect of letting a romantic partner into her deeply guarded inner sanctum is likely an incredibly daunting, high-stakes challenge. She has learned the incredibly hard way that the modern entertainment industry is filled with manipulative individuals who will quickly exploit any perceived emotional vulnerability for their own selfish, personal gain. Therefore, her intense, unwavering secrecy regarding her dating life isn't just a clever public relations strategy. It is a vital, absolutely necessary psychological mechanism strictly designed to protect her fragile heart from a world that constantly demands a piece of her soul. And that intense need for emotional self-preservation ultimately brings us to the profound, undeniable truth about her highly debated 2026 relationship status. When you aggressively strip away all the wild internet, the fabricated tabloid headlines, and the desperate, overanalyzed fan theories, the absolute truth about Courtney's 2026 love life becomes glaringly, beautifully obvious. Her ultimate, all-consuming loyalty is not to a romantic partner, but to her own hard-won artistic sovereignty. While she may very well be quietly dating someone completely removed from the chaotic, blinding public eye, she has made the incredibly conscious, highly empowered decision that her romantic status will absolutely never define her public legacy or her professional worth. In a highly judgmental industry that constantly tries to reduce powerful, independent women to mere extensions of who they are currently dating or marrying, Courtney has forcefully rebelled by making her music the absolute only thing that truly matters to her public brand. She is completely married to her grueling, international tour schedule, deeply committed to evolving her gritty, unpolished sound, and fiercely protective of the independent empire she has painstakingly built from the ground up after officially firing her corporate management. By totally refusing to answer invasive, highly personal questions about her private affections, she forcefully compels the media and the general public to focus entirely on her raw vocal talent, effectively breaking the toxic cultural cycle that has ruined countless other young female artists before her. Whether she is happily in love, navigating a painful secret heartbreak, or entirely happily single, Courtney has successfully achieved the ultimate, highly coveted flex in the modern entertainment business: total, uncompromising control over her own narrative. The young girl who once trembled nervously on a reality television stage is now a formidable woman who holds all the cards, and quite frankly, her relationship status is absolutely none of our business. And as she continues to completely dominate the underground rock scene, it leaves the rest of the industry wondering, who will be the next young artist brave enough to completely shut the door on the intrusive Hollywood machine?